Today we're going to be focusing on point slope form, PSF. And you're going to want to copy down these notes. This is page 31. So go ahead and pause the video so that you can copy this down. We're going to be referencing this formula, and you're going to want to memorize this formula over and over again so that we can actually use it accurately. You'll notice that there's always a y and x in any formulas. The slope, as always, is m. And then we have another x and y, kind of like when we do our slope, when we calculate it, we have that little 1. So this time we're going to have 1 point and a slope, hence point, slope, form, right? Everything is in the name. So go ahead and pause the video so you can copy this down. We're going to get started on problem number 1. Now, if you notice, I have 1 point and I have the slope, meaning I can put it in point slope form. If I write down my formula, I get y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My point is right here, x1, y1, and my slope is right here. And what I'm going to do is substitute everything in there. So y minus y1, which is 1 in this case, equals m, which is our slope, so 2, times x minus 4, which is our x1, parentheses. There's nothing for you to simplify here. There's nothing else for you to do. This is in point slope form. Now I want you to be careful because sometimes the point might have negatives in it, like number 2. So again, I'm going to write down the point slope formula so that I have it accessible and I can visually see where everything is going to go. Okay, I know my slope is negative 2/3, so I can substitute that in for m, and I'm always going to write x minus and y minus, and you're going to see why right now. Because my y1 is a negative 2, I'm going to substitute in negative 2. Then my x is 5. So everything's substituted, but I can simplify this because of this subtracting negative, which is a plus. So I get y plus 2 equals negative 2/3 times x minus 5. Nothing for me to distribute, just my signs is what I want to make sure I am simplifying. So go ahead and try number 3 and 4 and practice. I'm going to move on to number 5. So now it says, given this graph, write an equation in point slope form. Well, in order to have it in point slope form, we need a point and we need the slope. It's right in the name. So now we have to find a couple of points or a point. I'm going to point some out here. This is a point. This is a point. These are all points. So you could choose any one of them. I'm going to focus on this one right here. So this is 0, 1. It happens to be the y-intercept. And my slope, well, I can count my slope. I go up 3 to the right 1. So it's 3/1 or just 3. And I'm going to substitute this in. So I get y minus equals m times x minus, right? So x1 is 0, y1 is 1. So 0 and 1. My slope is 3 or 3/1. I can simplify this because usually we don't have this minus 0. So if I were to simplify, I get y minus 1 equals 3x. That is your final answer. Now, if you notice, we used the y-intercept right here for our point. If I used a different point, let's say I'm going to use this one. This point is -1, -2, and my slope is still 3/1, right? Because it's the same line. So I get y minus equals my m times x minus. Go ahead and substitute. I get -2, I get a -1, and I get a 3, or 3/1. I can simplify this, so I get y plus 2 equals 3 times x plus 1. I have a lot of options here for point slope form because I have a lot of points to choose from, and that's okay. You can make point slope form with any of these points. Other times, I might say, hey, I'm going to give this to you in point slope form, and you're going to graph it. Well, from point slope form, if I write the formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, I can identify a point and I can identify the slope. First and foremost, the slope is the simplest. It's right here. It aligns directly with it. So my slope is 1/3. Great. Now I have to figure out my point. Well, this matches. Everything matches so far that's not highlighted. Anything highlighted is what's changed. So if you notice, over here I didn't highlight the signs because the signs stayed the same. Over here I highlighted the signs because they changed, meaning my x must be a negative because it's the only way I can simplify to get it a positive. So that's the tricky part here, right? You want to make sure that you catch those signs. So I have a -3, comma, +5. This is a +5 because I substituted in for y. If it was a negative, this would change to plus. So this, that means this x right here without the sign is a -3. So now I can plot my point. I go to -3, comma, 5, which is here. And I'm going to use my slope to count up 1 to the right 3, which lands me here. And as we've done that, we're just bringing back all the skills that we've had before. Just be careful when reading it because this is what's tricky. You're going to practice with 9 and 10. So pause the video to practice with 9 and 10. I'm going to reveal the answers for this page so you can see them if you've practiced with the remaining problems. And then here's the bottom of that page. Again, your point slope form for numbers 5, 6, and 7 might be different than mine. That's okay. We're going to move on to page 32. Because now I might just give you a point and a slope, and I want you to put it in point slope form. Well, we practiced that before, right? We get y minus x minus. Our slope is 3/2. Our y1 is 5. Our x1 is 2. There we go. I am done. Other times, this might be the case with what I give you. You need to ask yourself, what do I have? What am I given? Because now it says use the given slope and point and write the final equation in slope-intercept form. Now, if you remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Well, you ask yourself, step 1, what do I have? Right now, I have a point and slope, meaning I can put it in point slope form. So go ahead and put this equation into point slope form. Y minus 5 equals 5/4 times x minus 4. I am going to change this just to pink so that it matches. And then step 2 is to change it to slope-intercept form, right? I can do that by distributing. So I get 5/4 x minus 5, bring everything else down, and then adding 5 to both sides so I can get y by itself. So I get y equals, which is what I want, 5/4 x plus 0. So I don't need that. I just get this as my answer. Go ahead and practice with 8 and 9. You're going to go ahead and finish this page as this is more practice from what we've learned. And there's also page 33 for more practice. Pause the video here. I'm going to give the answers to page 32. So this is the top part of page 32. As you can see, I put it into point slope form for number 7, 8, 9, and then I isolated. And here's the bottom half for page 32.